Yo, 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 what's up, what's up, what's up? This is the Not Food Podcast. Pittsburgh still a Raven, week 18, pregame. We're going to discuss a little bit of the Cleveland Brown game. We'll do a little recap on that. And then we'll go into the Raven hate the Steelers week of the 18th week of the season. Today we have my partner in crime as always, the Dollface Gremlin. And we got two special guests today, considering it's a special weekend in week 18. We got my boy Tinez, Raven Diehard. And then we got the hometown hero right from right there in B-More, my boy Bags. What's up, fellas? How y'all feeling today?
Absolutely amazing.
It's still a week, dummy. We turned up. You had time for the one time.
Doing good, doing good.
All right, so let's do a little recap first. Do a little recap on the Cleveland game. As you all know, out there in the sports world, we lost last week to the Ravens, only providing 2 field goals on offense. Well, listen, I've said it all week long. They worried more about Myles Garrett not getting the sack, stopping Myles Garrett from breaking the sack record than they did winning the game. It showed, the execution in the play showed, the game plan showed. It just completely showed that they focused on the wrong thing. And for that, it's typical Mike Tomlin bullshit, which is typical Mike Tomlin football, which is typically what we are going to be as a team as long as Mike Tomlin's on that damn sideline.
Yeah. Yeah, we watched an ugly game. We watched definitely a game that wasn't schemed to win. It was schemed around stopping Miles Garrett from reaching a milestone. Um, this is just very typical of Mike Tomlin just to coach for a whole different reason for his team, coaching his team a different style than what he normally would just because of one singular aspect of the game. But, you know, uh, only good thing about the game that I saw was that the Steelers were able to pressure Sanders, make some mistakes, especially throwing a couple interceptions there, and make him realize that he's just a rookie. And that was one thing I did like about the game.
So I gotta disagree, right? Like I understand like the mindset and the ideology of what you're saying of stopping Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin deciding to, you know, not let Miles Garrett break the sack record. But the reason why I disagree is because from what I watched, I think the absence of DK was more pivotal than the mindset to not let Miles Garrett break the sack record. And the reason why I say that is because we know Miles Garrett is the best defender on the Cleveland Browns, right? So whether he has the sack record in line or if it's just a regular Thursday night game in week 9, the objective is to neutralize and try to stop him as much as possible, right? The absence of DK showed me that even with MVS having the connection, playing with Aaron Rodgers, he's not a true X, right? He's not a guy that can beat bracket coverage. You know what I mean? When a fade ball that Aaron Rodgers, not the last play, but the play before that, there was a fade. I think it might have been second down. He tried to throw him a fade, and Denzel Ward covered it perfectly. I just think it was more absence of DK not being there to draw coverage and let everybody else be open on the field on 1v1s than it was Miles Garrett.
I actually agree to myself, actually, because with seeing that game as well, I also feel like that there was a lot of things the Steelers kind of put themselves too much on, because I feel like at the same time with DK being out, at the same time with that though, I feel like they kind of schemed a little too hard against Miles Garrett. And the reason why I say that is because when you have a guy like Kenneth Gainwell and another extra tight end, sometimes having to block Miles Garrett, which means he's literally getting double teamed and probably in some plays even triple teamed every single pass play. There's a point to where that is a good thing, but then it's also a bad thing because then you're restricting options and time and precision.
See,
You can't do that with a defense like the Browns.
I completely disagree with both of you because if you watch the first game the Steelers played against the Brown, they schemed Miles Garrett perfectly, planning against him, but also progressing their offense and their game plan. They used a two lineman system last time where Broderick Jones was forcing him inside, forcing him to the guard. Why aren't they doing something similar this time? Oh, because it's the sack record, because it's a Browns player. That's where the difference is here. It's just because it's the sack record. If it was any other game and no sack record involved, we're probably going to see a similar game plan to what happened last week with the blocking on Miles Garrett. The week prior when the Steelers faced them and won 23-9.
Yeah, and you see what? I can agree and agree with both sides because two things can be right at the same time, right? So I truly and I'm gonna put context to why as though I feel as though while Miles Garrett was too much of a focal point. There was a 3rd and 6. There was a 3rd and 6 play. It was a toss to Gainwell to where as though they still chipped Garrett on the backside. Now wait a minute, hold on. Miles Garrett, when did he get 4.142 speed? Don't get me wrong. Miles Garrett is a hell of an edge rusher, hell of a sealing the edge guy. But dog, he's not catching Kenneth Gainwell on the other side of the field on a toss play from the backside. He's not that guy. He's a great player, but he's not that guy. And yet on a toss, on a 3rd and 6 to the other side of the field, they still chip this man. When I saw that, that's when I said, yo, dog, they are just way too focused on Miles Garrett. Now, to piggyback off of what Bag says, yes, I think that DK not getting there and not drawing the extra attention of the big play down the field, and then us showing that there was nobody else that day when he did try to go downfield to MVS. There was nobody else that day that was going to pick up that slack to like where Bag said to draw the attention for the 1v1. That also happened. So I think two things can be right at the same time.
Right, but my issue is that it doesn't matter if it's week 1 or week 4, week 9, week 17, week 18. The objective is always to stop Miles Garrett, neutralize him. He
Yeah,
is the
yeah, but you
best
don't. Yeah,
defender
but
on
Bag.
their team,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but Bag. Yeah, but Bag. Let's be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
let's truly be honest. How often are you going to see Miles Garrett? I mean, I haven't. Maybe I haven't paid no attention to it. But how often do you see Miles Garrett chipped on a toss to the other side of the field?
Not too often. You probably never, and I agree, right? Because I
Not many.
just
There's not
logically,
many.
yeah, just logically, it wouldn't make any sense. And I can admit that yes, did the Pittsburgh Steelers want to stop him, from breaking the record on them? Yes, but the reason why I'm pushing back so like not aggressive, but so fierce about it is because the difference between the first game in the Browns and the second game is the Browns is DK not being there, right? Like,
Well, not only
yes,
that, it's also Dylan Gabriel and Junkins. They had a run game, and they tried to run us on it in the first one. They had no run game in the second one.
that is true. That is true too. But like scheme wise, the only reason why I would say DK is more pivotal is because he was not there, right? He is missing in action, MIA. Miles Garrett is still there, and every offensive coordinator, whether it's him lining up to break the sack record or just being in the game, The object is to neutralize Miles Garrett as much as possible. Yes, because Washington went out. He broke his arm, so I think it was in the second
That
quarter when that
limited is
happened.
also, yeah.
Yeah, that played a real key pivotal because, like you said, Gainwell had to come out the backfield, chip him. You know what I mean? And then by the time he got the chip, a lot of mistakes was made by Aaron Rodgers. I'm not gonna let that
Oh
go.
no, no! Listen. I was about to bring that up. I was about to bring it up because Aaron got the ball, but see, this is what me and Grem are saying as far as them concentrating too much on Miles Garrett because Aaron was getting rid of the ball when Miles Garrett wasn't even around. He just wanted to make sure the ball was out of his hand.
Yeah, I mean there's three plays that I can remember vividly of where Aaron Rodgers messed up. The 4th and 1, where he went down the field to Scotty Miller in the end zone. I don't know why he did that. He had Adam Thielen cutting straight across the linebacker's face.
For the first down, exactly.
Yeah. Then the Fryer move where he missed the pass across the middle. He did not put it on a dime. It was a third and 6 or 3rd and 7. He messed that up. And then the last play of the game when he threw MVS that back corner post, he had Kenneth Gainwell
You were
screaming across
wide
the middle
open
for a
in the
touchdown.
middle. I know.
Yes. And you would think as a veteran, 42 years old, he's been in the league for almost 20 something, like what, 18? Yeah, 18, 19 years. Like I know his clock was sped up because of Miles Garrett, but Miles Garrett normally he'll go from the 3 tech, inside, outside. He stayed in the 3 tech pretty much all game, right? And he lined it up wide, right?
Nah. I want to say he was in the 5 or I was calling the 11 technique because that's not even a wide 9. He was damn near a slot receiver.
Yes. Okay, so
He was damn near a slot receiver. I was cracking the fuck. Like, God damn.
the 3 tech would be a little bit inside the
Yeah,
left tackle.
3 tech inside shoulder of the guard.
Okay,
5 tech is
so
outside shoulder tackle.
gotcha. Okay, yeah, so but yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, right? The focus on Miles Garrett was pivotal, but I don't see the difference because any other day, that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, but
he,
I just think it was a little bit too. I think the ball came out way too fast because he rushed the clock in his head. Because a couple of times he threw the ball and he didn't even give a chance for the play to develop because he was afraid of Miles Garrett. A couple of times Miles was putting hot air on, you know what I mean, breathing on his fucking neck. I ain't gonna
yeah,
hold you, Miles. You know what I mean, a couple of times. But for the most part, like I said, he was getting the ball out way too early. You know what I mean? Like on that fly move, threw it, got the ball way too early. No need to. Especially on the last play of the game, got the ball out way too fast. There's no need to get the ball way too fast. You could at least you had enough time to scan the field to at least look him off to have Denzel Ward think you wasn't gonna throw that route. I mean, you stared at him the whole time. He knew you was coming over there.
but Ward was playing man. He was playing the man. He never turned his head back, right?
I
Like
know, I know, no, but no. What I'm saying is, you could have. What I'm saying is, he had enough time. I think he had enough time to at least scan the field.
yeah,
He never even did that. He just looked at MVS
yeah,
the whole time.
he did. I don't argue with that. I was talking about like Denzel Ward was just playing the
Oh yeah,
ball. I mean,
He
playing the
never
man,
played the ball at all. He
right?
played the man the whole time.
But yeah, no, it is Aaron's fault because he didn't, like you said, as soon as he hiked the ball, he was just waiting for MVS to just try to get position. And like I said, a couple plays earlier, he tried to give him the fade. I think it might have been first down, and then he threw
They threw an incomplete pass because he thought MVS was going to go in, and MVS went
inside.
out, and he almost threw
Yeah,
an interception.
and then Denzel, yeah, he almost threw the interception to Denzel. But yeah, like you said, Kenneth Gainwell was screaming across the middle on a slant, coming out the backfield, wide open.
And you know what irritated me so much about that play is that you know where he was going to be because you just called the play, so
Hmm.
you know what his route is. You know his route was the chip miles and then slant to the middle of the field. You know that was his route because you just called the play.
Yeah, and we can compile and get some blame for Mike Tomlin, right? Like that 4th and 1 that I said, where I fault Aaron Rodgers for the decision making of where he threw the ball, but
I
because they
fought
go for
Mike
it on fourth
Tomlin for
and
not.
one,
I fought Mike Tomlin for not kicking the field goal.
exactly, right? To go
Yeah,
for it on fourth and
that's
one when you know the Cleveland Browns went up early 10-0, and yes, you turned the ball over, or you got Shador to turn the ball over twice, and I think you only scored 3 points on
Three
the first
points.
one, and then Boswell missed the field goal on the second turnover, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
and he missed the extra point, didn't he?
No.
No,
He
he missed
missed.
the field goal.
He missed the
Just the
field
field
goal
goal.
whole
Hmm.
field goal. Yeah.
Okay.
because had he made that field goal, it would have been 10-9. Then that last drive, we wouldn't have been playing for a touchdown. We'd have been playing for a field goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you got to say, Grim?
Yeah, I see Bags' point 100%. But I think I've seen enough Mike Tomlin and how he changes his game plan to fit certain things to know that he was just a major part of that game going the way it did. I'll say this. Miles Garrett got one QB hit that last game for them scheming so much against him. Guess what? He didn't do diddly squat the first game when they schemed a regular appropriate game
Nah,
against
they
him.
he didn't. Dog. His name was not called at all the first game. At
No, and
Yeah.
all.
that's my
Like
biggest
he didn't even get
problem
a
with the
hurry.
whole.
He didn't even get a
Yeah, that's my
pressure.
biggest problem with the Browns game is we already schemed perfectly against Miles Garrett the first game. We already knew how to neutralize him. He didn't sniff the backfield except one time, and that was on a backside rush towards Rodgers when Rodgers was going out of the pocket and already let go of the ball. They did a good job. For them to completely still, like to Bags' point, you always got to watch out for Miles Garrett because he's an all-pro player. But it's too much of watching out for this just because of the singular fact that the record was involved. If the record was not involved, we do see a different game plan entirely, I think, from the offensive standpoint. But I think too, we got to talk about you guys. You guys put a stomping on the Packers last week. Do you guys want to go into some detail as well as about the stomping that you put on the Packers, Bags or Tinez, whichever you find gentlemen want to start?
I'll let that go first.
No, go ahead. I go ahead.
Oh no, thank you. My whole thing with it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think we played very well. I was honestly very surprised with the outcome. But I'm just gonna say this now. Thank living God, we actually ran the ball. See, This is what happens when we actually run the ball, guys. We can do something. That's just my whole thing with it. Like I knew from the jump that we was gonna win one of those two games, and I said it. If we really want a chance to make the playoffs, we have to win one of those two games. It wasn't a if or a want to. No, we had to. We needed to. Absolutely. So I'm happy by the outcome. I wasn't really surprised by it considering it was one of those situations where we had to win. Though at the same time, I feel like we could have had this if Derrick Henry played the way he was playing, then we would have not had this issue. That's just my thing. I just
But he
feel like right now, the way things are going, it's like I don't know what to see next now.
see, but he did. Right? They just stopped giving him the ball in the fourth quarter of the Patriots game. Like he scored a touchdown with I think like 11 minutes, 10 minutes left in the Patriots game, and he never touched the ball again. Ali came
Right.
out, got some burn. Uh, Mitchell came out and got some burn, but mostly it was just passing the ball. Like
Yeah.
they uh, Tyler Huntley hit Zay Flowers, he fumbled. Yes, Derrick Henry did fumble, but bro, this is the problem that I have with John Harbaugh, and I've been saying this since 2019. All right, every year we had, well, except this year. because with the injuries with Lamar and multiple players. But
Makes sense.
we're one of the top three, if not the leading rusher team in the league, right? And then when we get to the biggest game of the season, whether it's divisional, AFC Championship, whatever, he just goes away from what got us there. The fact that in 2019, when we played the Titans, the fact that Lamar Jackson threw the ball 59 times, crazy, right? In the AFC Championship against Cincinnati, the fact that we ran the ball 6 times in the first half and Lamar threw the ball 40 something times, crazy. I don't understand. You go sign Derrick Henry. He touches the ball week one against Kansas City 13 times. John Harbaugh comes out, well, we didn't get Derrick Henry to run the ball 30 times. Then what the hell did you get him for?
Right. And
Right?
that's just kind of the thing that John Harbaugh has that very much annoys me too, is that for some odd reason, I don't know why he does this shit, but he tends to do this shit whenever it's the second half and when it's a fucked up situation. He wants to do his own shit. He wants to do his own shit instead of just going through the basics. Hey, if you have a struggling first half, go back to your basic fundamental plays. Why are
Yeah,
we having to innovate to do more extra shit to which then fucks us later? It
but
makes no sense.
as a football team, and coach can probably vouch for this, right? The grade eight is the most pivotal time of the game, right? Which is the last
Yep.
4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half,
Second. Yep.
right? If you can maintain and control that, depending
Middle
on
eight.
how first, the first quarter goes, they that is the probably like most successful you're going to be. And every situation that I see with John Harbaugh, especially when it comes to situational football, he gets out coached all the time, bro. All
Yes.
the time.
And that's the ego in him. I feel like a part of that just has to do with the ego in him because of the status he's in, and now he's trying to actually do his own shit, which is good and bad. And I'm not saying, because I'm not gonna sit here and say like there's a lot of plays that he can make up that we've seen that are really good,
Can you tell me the good?
especially in the passing game.
Can you tell me
But
the good?
there's times, like for example, like fucking Buffalo. No, I'm sorry, but that shit made me want to just like, oh God. That shit in the beginning
All
of the
right,
season made
before
me want to like
Tinez,
actually run my head through a windshield. I'm sorry.
before Tinez goes and rips his other ACL the other day. Uh,
Okay, wow.
yeah,
Wow.
before Tinez got braces on both legs because of John Harbaugh. Let's get to the goodie. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of the podcast. Y'all two know what it is. It's Pittsburgh. It's the Ravens. It's Sunday. It's prime time. What you got, Bags? What it look like?
Okay, so I'm going against the grain, right? Like for me, this is a coaching decision. I would have sat Lamar Jackson, right? Everybody's hyped up. Oh, Lamar's back in practice, da, da, da. And as rightfully so. Cool. If he feels as though that he's healthy enough to go out there and play, I'm cool with it to a certain extent, right? The reason why I would say sit him is because he's been dealing with injuries. Not, I wasn't gonna say injuries, but in week 18, all people like all teams are banged up. We know that, right? Football is football. But for me, it's either win and get in. Whether you have Lamar Jackson or Tyler Huntley, it's win to get in. So I'd rather say, you know what? Why stop the momentum of how Huntley and Derrick Henry and the defense is playing to put Lamar Jackson on the field and put them, because he's injured or hurt, in jeopardy further, right? Because if Tyler Huntley can pull off the dub, that means you get a home berth playoff game. That's 3 times back to back to back AFC North championships. Y'all know what it is. And I'd rather have Lamar for the playoffs, right? Because say we do win the game with Lamar Jackson, but he's got a back contusion. His hamstring has been tight all year. He hasn't been explosive when the run game. So say we do win, but he gets banged up again. Now you got to what? Play Huntley in a playoff game? We've seen that before, right? Him trying to reach over the goal line from the 3 yard line, and Sam Hubbard or Hutchinson running for a 98-yard touchdown. Like, these are the decisions when it comes to coaching that I have an issue with. And the fact that
Right.
it's going against the Shitberg Squealers, the rivals, like I said, Coach Tomlin out coaches him in situational football every time. Like, how many times have we seen Kenny Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky, Mason Rudolph go out there and win a game with Boswell kicking off field goals? Like, I don't want to see that in Week 18.
Right. And
I
I
feel that. Greg,
understand you, Bag, and
hold
I
on,
do.
Hold on, Tinez.
Oh,
Greg,
my
what you
bad.
got, baby? What you got, Greg, dog?
Well, one thing that's for sure is when Lamar Jackson plays against the Steelers, he gets sacked. He's been sacked a total of 25 times in 7 games that he started. I don't count the 2 games that he played in his rookie year. He didn't play in one. He only had one snap in the other, so those ones don't count. So in 7 games, Lamar Jackson has been sacked 25 times for a total of 100 plus yards, 125 yards. That just goes to show that it's not, the Baltimore Ravens offensive line can be what it is because if you actually look at them the last 2 weeks, they've done a great job of protecting their quarterbacks. They've only allowed one sack, and that's against the Patriots, a formidable Patriots defense, and they allowed the sack against the Packers defense. One thing that Lamar playing does enable the Steelers to do is take advantage of his leaving the pocket so early, feeling the pressure, especially when he's injured, and especially to Bags' point. For some reason, John Harbaugh just coaches differently against the Steelers, just like the Steelers did last week against the Browns. He really does. He takes a beautiful car like Lamar Jackson, then he wants to drive it through mud puddles on purpose. I think that bodes well for the Steelers. I think if they capitalize on defense, then it's only good things for the offense from there. Hopefully,
You call it running through mud puddles. I say it's running into a brick wall 150 miles an hour.
Tinez, what you got for me, baby?
This is actually funny because I actually had a conversation about this earlier today. I actually can see both sides, but there's kind of one reality of this where I think everybody has kind of said it today. Look, I agree with Bag. I don't think Lamar should be playing, but it doesn't mean they aren't going to let him. Because here's the reality of this. Bag, you know this as much as I do. We don't like the Steelers. So my thing is, and I think everybody else here will agree, they're going to do what it takes to win that North. Regardless if it's your starting quarterback being banged up or your entire team. Something's got to give, brother. So I can kind of see why they want him in, but I do agree with you. I don't think he's fully healthy yet to make a large impact like he can do. Because, I mean, you can easily put in a guy like Tyler Huntley and do just like how he did in Chicago and manage the game perfectly well. I mean, we've seen him face adequate defenses before. So I agree with you 100%. Tyler should play. But the reality of it is, man, this is the last game of the regular season for the AFC North. The best man is going to win at the end of the day, fellas. And that's the only reason why Lamar Jackson is playing is because from here on out, a win is a win.
That is facts,
Regardless.
Tinez. That was a good point. I like how
But the
you
but,
put that.
but the difference is that when Huntley is in, it's more conservative. Give the ball to Derrick Henry
True.
35 times, right? Which
True.
bodes better for the team because no TJ Watt, right? So Patrick Ricard, put him in I formation, stretch to the right, stretch to the left. I like it's going to be more conservative and more safe for the team. And I get you got Lamar Jackson. He is a one of one. He's a great talent. But the problem is he's compromised, right? When I
Yeah.
seen him get sacked 7 times by Detroit, I knew something was wrong, right? Yes, he sat out for 3.5 games after because he got hurt in Kansas City in the third quarter. After that, he sat for 3.5. We tried. I don't know why even Eric DaCosta signed Cooper Rush, but he did. Cooper Rush bummed it up. Huntley stepped up. We started winning a couple games with the backup. Lamar comes back, looks great against Miami on Thursday night, and then after that, he was a shell of himself. I just, for me, because this game is so pivotal and so key to make it to the playoffs, because if I'm not mistaken, if y'all lose, y'all out the playoffs as well, right?
That is correct.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I
Yeah.
that is
think
correct.
the only thing that can happen that is weird is if we tied.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when it gets weird.
But
Yeah.
no, it wouldn't even
Ooh.
no, it wouldn't you know, it wouldn't even get weird. We would still win the division. They only have 8 wins, we have
Yes.
9.
Yeah,
So
it's
Yeah.
it
just
would
Yeah,
it
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 would
only
just
would
be
counts half
weird for the
win, half
game to end on
loss.
a
Yeah.
tie,
yeah,
just
yeah,
be
it was gonna
weird.
Right.
be weird as hell for the game in on the tie, but yeah, we would still win. But I'm gonna tell y'all like this, because I've had this discussion all week. Ever since we lost to Cleveland, I've been having these discussions. Who would you rather see? And I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna agree with Bag when I say I'd rather play the devil I know than the devil I don't know. There's a reason there's a reason that Lamar Jackson is 3-6 against the Steelers. Tomlin and the coaching staff obviously know what schemes hinder him, what blitz packages bring him problems, what formations are hard for him to, what defense are hard for him to read. They know his strengths, they know his weaknesses. And because of that, they've been able to scheme against him to where as though he has a 3-6 record against us. See, because I go back, see, because I watched Huntley run the other day. Was that last week? I watched Huntley run, and I'm gonna tell you right now, with that RPO and Henry, I want to take y'all back to the playoff game because I talked to Bags about this all the time. Bags, how many times they ran that RPO in a row?
13 wins in a row.
13. They ran that fucking play 13 times in a row to the left and to the right between Highsmith and Watt. And every fucking play was positive yardage. Every
Yeah.
fucking play. Now Huntley has the legs. Lamar might be a little banged up, but Huntley has the legs to run that RPO. And like Bag said, which was another reason why I said I want Lamar, is that John Harbaugh is more inclined to go off script if Lamar Jackson is in there because he trusts him to change the script to whereas though if Huntley is in there, he's going to stay right on script and just hand this ball off.
That is true, Coach
You see
C.
what I'm saying?
However,
So
yeah, I
that,
do. But
that's why that's where I look at it. That's how I look at it. I'd rather play the devil I know than the devil I don't know.
and I hear that both of you, but the way I'm seeing it this year, it's very different. You also have to look at it like this too. Lamar hasn't played a lot this year. If we really sit and think about it, and if we're being honest, do you really want Lamar's first game being back healthy in many weeks against the Houston Texans? If they were
Yes.
to win,
Yes.
Bag, do you know how rusty that man would be?
So hold on. So you're
Think
telling me.
about this.
So hold on. So let me ask you a question. So you're telling me if you're willing to put in jeopardy a banged up Lamar Jackson, let's just say he's about 65 to 70% of Lamar Jackson. I'd rather have 100% Huntley in this game to make it to the playoffs in order for Lamar to sit another week and get even more healthy as possible to take a run in the playoffs than to him jeopardize. And like I said, even if we win this game, right, and say he gets another back contusion because he's already got one, right? Like just the the percentage risk versus value for me isn't high enough, right, to put Lamar Jackson on the field. Because even if you win the game, but he gets banged up even more, then we might have to start Huntley in the first week of the playoffs. And Like I said, I've watched that movie before. I don't want to see it again.
I hear you on that, Bag, but in the reality of this case, bro, it's not really looking too good. And to be honest with you, this is even almost as worse than the first time this has happened. We all remember what happened the first time Lamar got injured and had to go back and play in the playoffs.
Well, yeah,
I
that's
don't
hurt.
think Lamar won this. I don't think Lamar or John want that again.
When did you see that?
Oh, wasn't it 20? When was the last time
You've never
Huntley was
seen it.
actually playing? Yeah,
That
was that
You've
wasn't
never,
21?
21.
you've
21,
never
21
Yes,
seen it.
Lamar
21.
was hurt. 21
You've
was
never
right,
seen
and
it.
that's how Burrow got to the bowl because Lamar was hurt.
There you go. Yep, that year.
Correct. But that's my point. You've never seen Lamar come back from being injured and play in the playoffs. Both seasons that he got hurt in 21 and 22, he missed the last 5 games. And in 21 was the Huntley game against Cincinnati, wild card weekend. We lose. And then the following year, I don't even think we made the playoffs. Yeah, because Huntley lost
Yeah.
4 out of the last 5. And Lamar was dealing with a contract. So he said, I'm not coming back.
Mm. All right,
Yeah.
so Graham, it's Pittsburgh, it's Steelers, it's week 18. I called this back in week 6 when they were 1-5 and we were 4-1,
We called
and
this back in week
and a
6.
couple of Raven fans was upset. A couple of Raven fans was upset, and I told them, I said, "Yo, I don't know what y'all so worried about. I know my coach. This shit is going to go down to week 18." I said, "I don't know what y'all worried about." So we're not going to solidify this before week 18. It's going to go down to that last game of the season. And I said this, and Bags concurred. He is right. We said this in week 6 that this was going to go down to this game. So Bags, what you got for me, baby? What you seeing here? I mean, not Bags. I'm sorry, Grim. Bag already went.
Well, I think one underestimated thing here is the Steelers without TJ Watt. They have actually been really effective without TJ Watt. Actually, been a lot better than people suspect. They've been getting to the quarterback more. They've been averaging more pressures for the last 3 games. They've been doing a great job. They've been scheming in a fact that it's not a reliance just on one edge rusher, like it is with TJ Watt. Whereas now they're relying on both sides. They're actually moving some personnel around too. So I really hate to say this, but with TJ Watt out, they've actually been more versatile as a defense. They've been switching some of these edge rushers to different sides. And to Coach's point, we actually saw a couple stunts and twists recently. I know it's mind blowing for our defense, but it's just something that finally maybe Terrell Austin just figured out. I don't know, or Mike Tomlin finally let him loose to do. But I think this is going to be a very close game overall. It's going to be one of those knockout, drag out second games between two teams that really have both teams have no business sniffing the playoffs this year. If we're all going to be honest with each other, so I think this is going to come down to another weird Ravens Steelers game, one score game, ugly, coming down to the fourth quarter.
Okay, my bad, my bad. I was talking and my joint was on mute. Yo, so Tinez, you just heard
Yes,
what
sir.
Graham got. We heard from Bag. We heard from Graham. Now let's hear from the mustache man himself. Tinez, what you got from?
Shoot, man. Honestly, right now, I mean, whatever way you look at it, this game's going to be close. I mean, you got Lamar coming back. That's going to be rough for him, especially offensively. It's going to take him a while to get fresh. But I think overall, I think if we keep our run game, like I said in the beginning, I think things will be okay. Now, I'm not going to say we're not going to deal with some bumps and cracks in the road, but I think eventually things can subside. Now, with that being said, this is also going to have to be a big game in our defense. And when I say specifically, I mean for Roquan Smith. I need him all over the field. This is a game where I genuinely want to see our defense just go full out in blitzkrieg. And it's just a fact because DK's not playing. So I'm completely fine with it. You guys are gonna run the ball, probably use Kenneth Gainwell and Jalen Warren. Okay, fine. We can blitz our linebacker every play. That's no problem. I have no problem doing with a guy like Roquan Smith and Kyle Hamilton, blitzing them off the edge and blitzing him from the inside as well. So that's what's gonna give. Then that's what's got to give. A lot of people don't realize this is a battle. Like this is the type of game where you don't want to play this game in a 1 o'clock p.m. game. Okay, this is not a game like that. Okay, this is a 11, 10 o'clock kind of game where it's gonna be dark, it's gonna be snowing, it's gonna be cold, and it's gonna be very dark. And I love that. I love that because something's got to ache at the end of the day. You got to have a sour punch by the end of the season, regardless, by any means. So I think this is going to really show for both teams who can be adequate enough going against one of the best defenses for the first round of playoffs, but also solidify themselves for the win of the division at the end of the day. It's going to be the biggest man.
Okay. Now I'm gonna let y'all know how I got it. You know, I watched this rivalry since it began in '96. Because before it was the nasty ass Cleveland Browns, the shitty ass Bengals, and the fucking Houston Oilers. And then Jacksonville, we had another little brother coming to the motherfucking AFC Central. And then Houston wanted to move to Tennessee. Even though they stayed in our division, they wanted to be the Tennessee Titans. And that was a great rivalry for a while, especially with Eddie George. Then came the Ravens. Out the gate, for some unknown reason, this rivalry was just different. And Sid, well, they called him Sid, but Terrell Suggs said it best. There's 3 games every football fan wants to see. The Super Bowl and Ravens Steelers twice a year.
Facts.
Everybody wants to see those games. Now, I'm going to tell you like this. This is how I got it. I can't remember that now. I can't remember the commentator that said it, but he said Ravens Steelers games should be played at midnight in a dark alley because these are 2 street gangs going at it for supremacy over the territory, and they're going to try to kill each other as they do it. And that describes this weekend. That describes Sunday perfectly.
Didn't one of the Pouncey brothers originally say that?
I don't know. I don't care if it was an analyst or not, but I know somebody said in an interview.
Okay.
Yeah, so somebody say the interview or a commentator said it during an analysis of the game. But I remember someone saying it. That's why it stuck in my head. I was laughing so hard when I heard it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, but that describes Sunday perfectly. It's week 18. It's win or go home for the division title. You know, for the divisional title, for the AFC North, to find out who's the king of the North in the AFC. And it's going to go down it's going to be a gritty, hard-hitting, no remorse, enemy gets no mercy, enemy deserves no mercy type of motherfucking game. And that's just what it is. And that's what
People
all
are
of our
gonna get
games,
real uncomfortable.
and that's what all of our games usually are. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have no faith in my coaching staff. I just don't.
That makes 2 of us.
Bag said, I've seen this movie so many fucking times, dog, and I do not like this movie every time I see it. Every time I've seen this movie, dog, it's had a shitty ass ending. And I do not like this movie. I really don't. I did not want to have to buy a ticket to go see this fucking repeat. I didn't want to.
It's like the Fast and the Furious franchise. It's like after movie 5, yo, bro, I don't want to see that shit no more.
Yeah, dog. Like, man, come on, man. Now they in space. Like for real though. I don't want to see it, and the reason I don't want to see it And I'm going to say it's because of the inconsistencies in the coaching and on my team. We just saw them play 3 straight weeks of complete ball as a complete team. I was seeing stunts. I was seeing twists. I'm seeing creativity in the offense. We're not opening up the offense, but it's not directed at just one person no more. And like, man, the line was blocking great everything. And then here we go to Cleveland. And they look like at the every other week still that they've been looking like all season. So not only good thing that comes with this is since we did play like shit last week, maybe we do play good this week. That's the only upside. But I just don't trust Tomlin. I'm over Tomlin. I've been over Tomlin since 2015. Been wanting him gone. I've been tired of seeing him. And I just don't feel as though I can honestly say, and I've said this a million times, I'm never going to raise another Lombardi trophy under Mike Tomlin. So to be honest with you, anything other than anything other than a Lombardi trophy, like to me, is a participation trophy. So all we playing for is a participation trophy right at this point. Because I don't see them locking in for another 3 fucking weeks.
That's what I was gonna ask. So Bart, maybe saying, okay, all right, if the Ravens win or if the Steelers win, who has a better chance to make it further in the playoffs? Go ahead, Gremlin. You first.
That's a really tough question because I think both teams are so ass. Um, wow. I think only because the defense of the Steelers is better. I would say maybe the Steelers, and I'm not even confident with saying that. And I'm also thinking because of Aaron Rodgers and his high IQ playability. Hopefully, it translates to playoff football. I mean, he hasn't seen playoff football for a couple years now. Obviously, we all remember him with the Jets. But Lamar hurt is something that really is in my head for why the Ravens I don't think succeed in the playoffs either. Is that guy needs to be at 100% for them to succeed, and with the way the season has been going, coaching, I just don't think. I just don't think they would go farther. I think maybe the Steelers could play a better game than the Ravens, but that's a big maybe.
Tinez.
Tinez?
My bad. I was doing something. Uh, Honestly, I kind of have to agree with Grem here. I mean, right now it's kind of hard to say considering when it comes to the scheme of things, both teams have not been up to par, especially when it comes to what they're really capable of. I mean, yes, we see glimpses, but the sun isn't fully clear as day, boys. It's very cloudy right now for both teams. So I would say, honestly, that's why I kind of said earlier, this is going to be the game that's really going to determine that. Because in all reality, at the end of the day, whoever wins is going to have to bust their ass to keep going.
Hey, y'all, I've been a Steelers fan. I was born a Steelers fan in 74, man. The year I was born was probably the greatest draft in NFL history for one team. Because in the 74 draft, I'm not mistaken, Chuck Noll was able to draft. I think he drafted 9. I think he drafted between the 74 and 75, I think he drafted 9 Hall of Famers. And I think he drafted 5 Hall of Famers in 74. I think five of his draft picks became Hall of Famers. And I've been for the ups and the downs. But I'm going to tell you honestly, I don't trust Mike Tomlin. I don't. And I just think that Derrick Henry can run the ball, him being able to run the ball. See, being able to run the ball in the playoffs is huge. And I think because they can run the ball when Harbaugh doesn't go off script, I think they would probably have a better chance because we too damn inconsistent. Like we just too damn inconsistent, man. I just can't get you. I can't get y'all to lock in for 4 or 5 straight weeks, man, and just do their job and play consistent ball. And listen, we all know in the playoffs it's win or go home. There is no tomorrow. So you got to play better than your opponent each and every game. So I mean, honest with you, I think, like, and I've always said it. I said it precisely. Our ceiling this year was to win the wild card round and get mollywopped in the divisional anyway. I said that was going to be our season. I would be our ceiling for the season anyway. So, but I definitely, I hate picking the Ravens for anything. I don't like let's get this thing straight. I don't like the Baltimore Dodo Birds. I've never had like the Baltimore Dodo Birds. All right, the Baltimore Dodo Birds have been just that, Dodo Birds. They've been a fucking pain in the side. Remember when Dodo Birds back in the days, Dodo Birds used to all migrate near this airfield. I don't know if it was LAX or whatever, and they kept clogging up the engines and flying right into the engines of the fucking planes. And then they had to clear them out because why? They're Dodo Birds, and that's what the Ravens doing. They keep flying into the Pittsburgh engine, clogging up planes and having this crash. So I don't like the Dodo Birds of no way, shape, or form. But I have to be honest. I probably see them going further than us. Go ahead, Bad.
And I'd have to agree, even though we haven't had the best season this year. Um, I've seen better offense from the Ravens. Defense has picked up, but the Pittsburgh defense has been better all season, so I will give it to that. And like you said, I think with King Henry being in the backfield is more of an upside than splitting carries with Gainwell and Warren. The problem that would arise to me, like Common said, is coaching, right? Even it doesn't matter who's on the field. Mike Tomlin just out coaches John Harbaugh all the time. If it wasn't for Derrick Henry in the playoff game last year, running for what, a $180, two
Yeah,
tutties.
buckets and chains.
Yeah,
Almost 2 bills.
yeah, and then with Justice Hill and Lamar Jackson as well, we ran for 299 yards, right? And then we got the turnover on Russell Wilson at the 3-yard line when he tried to run the ball. I don't know what he was thinking, but to each his own. And the historical context in the last 10 years, like Common said earlier, since 2015 season, 2016, they haven't won a playoff game, right? The Ravens, as long as Lamar Jackson has played in the playoffs, has made it like pretty substantially far, right? At least divisional round. He's only lost wild card weekend one time, and that was his rookie year against the Chargers. Every year that he's played after that, it's either been divisional or the AFC Championship. Has it been to the Super Bowl? No. But in this conversation that we're having, and who do I trust more in the playoffs, it would have to be Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, only because of Lamar Jackson. If Huntley was out there, I'd have no faith, right? I'd say, all right, Pittsburgh and Aaron Rodgers, even though Aaron Rodgers is 85 years old and he's got the AARP card now instead of the discount double check, I mean, I would say the Baltimore Ravens have a better chance of making it further if they win this game. And if I was to say, yo, I bet my house on it, I would. But it all counts on week 18. You have to win this game to get in. Now, do I trust John Harbaugh in week 18 against Mike Tomlin? I don't.
Damn.
Yeah,
Hey, yo,
that's the
listen, this is what
reality.
I love, right? We got Steeler fans, we got Raven fans. No bias. We talking football. We just talking football. So look, the last segment is your call on the game tomorrow. We'll do a little injury report. First, Gremlin, give me that injury report. Who's in, who's out on Sunday as of right now?
Well, obviously, we know about TJ Watt. He's not going to be doing much of anything as of right now. Yeah, he's been showing up to practice, but we know he's not really going to be involved. And then besides that, everybody else is looking good. Ravens as well. The Rashad Bateman's questionable just because of an illness. Taven Bryant's questionable because of his knee, and then Marlon Humphrey is questionable also because of an illness. So really, aside from our boy Lamar having to sustain playing through the sustained injury, we got pretty much two full, almost full healthy squads, two full rosters going at each other as it should be for the last game of the season for the North.
All right, quick question. Was there any word on Washington? Are they going to cast him up or is he out?
I saw that they ruled him out as soon as he had the surgery, but I will check right
Okay.
now just in case because uh, that was a couple days ago.
Yeah, because I know it was still up in the air on whether or not they were going to put that memory foam cast, whatever it was, around his joints where he could play. Well, I should say, was the injury too serious for the cast, or would he be able
Yeah,
to put the cast on and still play? Was still up in the
no,
air a couple days
it's
ago.
too serious because even the Steelers picked up tight end Jaheim Bell. Um,
Oh, great, another mascot.
yeah, they picked up Jaheim Bell because of Darnell being out for this game. So, I almost feel a little bit more confident of them sticking the mascot in, but who knows?
Yeah, right. If anybody wants to know about the mascot, when we say the mascot, we are talking about no one other than Cam Hayward's little brother Connor,
Yep,
who seems
it's
every
in Cam's
year.
contract that Connor must get one play a game. Okay,
Well,
guys, one play a game.
it's got to be in there because listen, for some unknown reason, Connor is never on the field usually, but yet he always gets a roster spot. So we named him the mascot. The
That's
mascot, the
hilarious.
official mascot of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That is
So
hilarious.
bag, what you got? Bag, what you got for me, baby?
So from I'm gonna go real quick. My phone's about to die. So I'm gonna put the my prediction in here as well. Um, I, 28, 21. Yeah, 28-21. I hate saying it, man. I really do. Pittsburgh might win this game, guys. Like they really might. I mean, you might need a help from the Zebras like y'all did in the first matchup, but now it's gonna be a hard fought battle. If we can't on the defensive side, contain Gainwell and Warren, if they can, slip out the backfield and catch a couple receiving passes, break out for a good huge run and score a touchdown, it's gonna be an issue. Especially because, well, I hope he doesn't play. Marlon Humphreys, I don't understand why Zach Orr has not learned, bro. He cannot play the outside anymore. If you're gonna have him on the team or in the field, he has to play the nickel. You need him inside. He's good from side to side, but if you want him to stretch the field, he's going to get burned. And the best thing that is in a favor for the Ravens is that DK is missing, right? So maybe we can, with Gilman and between Gilman and um, Kyle Hamilton, blitzing on coming off the edge, switching back and forth, playing in coverage. Can we get a turnover or two from the interception? Hopefully, because we have no pass rush, right? Especially since Matabike's been gone. I mean, Travis Robinson, he's not bad, but we can't get any inside pressure. Mike Green, he's slowed down since like week 12, right? He's not getting the consistent pass rush off the edge, even though he can bend like a rubber band. It's up in the air. You know what I mean, and I'm just excited to see it. Like you can't beat it. Week 18 for the division, Ravens Steeler. I'm just hit. I'm just happy. You hear me? So
I
let's
heard
get it.
that shit. I heard that shit. Graham, what you got for me with your prediction of the week?
Oh man. Ah, I guess this is where we pick opposites today because I honestly think the Ravens are going to win 17-14. I think it's going to be a running game that wins them this game, especially hitting the middle. I think Patrick Queen and Wilson are going to get attacked like they have been all year. And I think we're going to see Derrick Henry do some damage. And then I think they're going to attack us with the tight ends on some short passes too. I know it's Lamar playing. I know Lamar is injured, and he doesn't have that good of a record against the Steelers. The only thing that I am going to rely on is just like Bag said, which coach can be the worst coach in this game? We've got two terrible coaches squaring off against each other. Which one's going to flinch and make the worst move? And I think Mike Tomlin's going to do that, and the Steelers are going to fall by 3 points, 17-14 Ravens.
Damn. Tinez, what you got?
Surprisingly enough, Bag, I'm also gonna have to opposite your answer and also go the Ravens, like Grem said. Surprisingly enough, because don't get me wrong, I definitely understand why you wouldn't trust John Harbaugh, but I also know one thing for sure: this is not gonna be the same offense like Aaron Rodgers had. He does not have Darnell Washington, doesn't have DK Metcalf, and TJ Watt is just now coming back after all that shit, even though he's healthy. But still, you never know what can linger, right? With that being said, right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are vulnerable for any means necessary of something to happen. And right now, with the way our defense has been playing, the way how we've been chipping away with our offense, there is no reason why we shouldn't win. If we can keep the run game the way it has been, and for the love of God, stick with the basics, then I think we'll be okay. But knowing John Harbaugh and knowing that there will be some bumps and cracks in the road, I don't expect it to be all handy dandy and pretty. So I am going to agree with Graham, but I'm going to make this a little different. I expect this honestly at 21-7. I'm sorry, but I just don't feel like Mike Tomlin is going to really.
Motherfucker, are you high?
Damn, damn, 21-7.
Yeah, and honestly, though, one of the biggest reasons I feel like is because of the run game.
Hold on, have you seen the Ravens play since like 2003? Like, are you high?
I know I sound high right now.
It's that pain.
But the only reason why I'm saying that is just the difference in the fundamentals, coach. That's literally it. If that's the case, I would not be saying this.
The last time y'all did whoop our ass like that one time. I think it was like 35-7.
No, it was 30. It was 34-17 last year. I guess you could say in the regular season. Yeah, in the playoff game.
No, it was
Let's not forget the playoff game.
It was wild card. Season week 1, they beat the brakes off us one time. It was like 35-7. It was
okay, yeah, last year.
No, I said 20. I said 21-7.
Yeah, not last year. It was years ago. But he just said 21-7 in 2025. Like either one of us got any type of high power offense to score 3 touchdowns and to keep the other one at 7. Neither one of us can do that.
And coach, I'm not saying we have a high power offense, but I do know one thing: we have a healthy running back. You guys don't have a healthy foundation.
We got 2 healthy running backs, you moron. Have you been watching all
even
season?
With those 2 healthy running backs, you don't have a healthy foundation on that line.
Hey, listen.
Are you kidding me? Our line is a healthier foundation than yours right now.
Graham, that's Tinez's take. We know Tinez is different.
Oh yeah, coach. Coach. We're not doing the alphabet crew antics. We're not doing this.
Like my phone about to literally die, so let me get this last little piece of it. So listen, y'all, it's NMP, it's your boy Bags for the flock out this job. But I don't trust John Harbaugh, and this is the biggest game of the year for the season at the moment. And what I know that he does is he fumbles the bag every time. And that is the only reason why I picked the Pittsburgh Steelers, because I've seen him multiple times. Yet again, I'm going to say it for the 4th or 5th time this podcast. I see him get out coached. It doesn't matter roster wise on the field for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He gets out coached in situational football. Do I want the Ravens to win? Absolutely. Absolutely. But off of the historical context of who John Harbaugh is going up against Mike Tomlin, I just see him getting outcoached in certain situations that is real key and pivotal to the game. But with that being said, it's always the flock. Fuck Mike Tomlin and the Squealers. I'll see y'all week 18. I love you, dummy.
You already, baby. All right, listen up. Listen up. This is going to be my take, and I'm going to make it short, sweet, and to the point. I don't trust Mike Tomlin. I don't want him in Pittsburgh anymore. And I think he's going to fuck it up in the situational part of football. And I do not see us getting past the Baltimore Ravens in Week 18. That is just how I see it. I don't know what the score is going to be, but I know somehow we're going to score less than the fucking Baltimore Ravens. Hey, Graham, real quick, what sponsors, what we got coming up?
Well, we got all the good sponsors. All right. If you want to get good gear, you come to Not Move. We've got some great stuff for you. Go to our link. We've got QR codes that hide up in the corner. If you've been noticing, every once in a while, you see a nice little QR code pop up, like that one right there. That is for the Not Move store. We also got mybookie.ag. We got the MLB shop, NFL shop, W.GG. All you got to do is use the code not moved. We're going to get you some percentages towards anything, whatever wagers from mybookie.ag. Not move's going to hook you up. Keep staying with our channels. Our boy Southgate's always got some parlays that he's ready to give out to you. Got the parlays, but Southgate's always got some good stuff. We got Coach's Corner that's live every week on TikTok, which I know Mr. Bags and Tinez always like to join in and chop it up with. But go to the links, go to the QR codes, check out all our stuff. We got a lot of cool merch. We've already got people out there listening to the podcast that have purchased our merch and put some stuff on social media to show it off, and it's real nice. So everybody, hit the links. Not moved for the codes.
All right, baby. You know what this is. This the Not Move podcast, baby. I am Coach Common with my man, the Gremlin, underneath me. To the side of me, I got Tinez, my man Bags, the Dodo Bird fans. Now, listen, not move means we do not move easily. I'm 6'4", 280 pounds, and I don't move so easy, baby. So you better strap up and wrap up before it gets broke up. It's football, baby. We out of here. Peace. Week 18. We'll see you next week after give you a recap.
Fuck the
Here
burglars.
we go. Stallers.
This non-casual podcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or reused without the authorized written consent of the Not Move Podcast Network. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.